this is Laoguiyang speaking, and welcome to the latest episode of Gurren in Guizhou, Xiaba Part 3. This is the last video from the Xiaba trip, which is, you can probably remember, I recorded without a microphone, so unfortunately there's no live commentary, but to, in a way, make it up to you, I'm just rewatching the video myself right now and providing my input on whatever I think is interesting or worthwhile. I bet it's going to be entertaining either way, so just get comfortable and enjoy the ride. In the first part of the video, you could see that we were on that massive road, which was in Dongfang. It's a little suburb just outside the Guiyang city, and what we did is we took a country road through the mountains following the Naming River, as we did in the previous episode. We are now about, I'd say, 10 miles from Guiyang city center. It doesn't seem like we're very far away, but it seems like a long ride because I'm going quite slow. I'm not trying to rush it. I could probably get this trip done much quicker, but that's not the whole point. So this is the road to Xiaba. As far as I know, obviously there are other ways of getting there, which is either by motorway. I think there's like a motorway going through the Guding district. And this road, which I think is actually pretty cool, as you can see, it's a relatively new road. The surface is smooth, it's a nice ride, and we've got the river on our left side going directly, I think we're going directly east at the moment. I've been traveling around Guizhou quite a lot, even before I bought a motorcycle, but as I had no car until last year I did my license, so I could finally rent a car. It was quite different because I had to travel to places where I could go by train or by bus, and Xiaba is not one of them. I mean, you can get there by bus, but these are not buses which are easily found. They don't really go, not like those touristy buses that go from the main bus station. Those buses usually just stop somewhere along the main road in one of the districts, and then you have to find them. So it wasn't until last year that I actually got to Xiaba for the first time, even though it's so close to where I live. And I thought I knew all the places around Guiyang quite well, but obviously I didn't. We went with a group of friends last year by car. Unfortunately, I wasn't driving, so it wasn't exactly the trip I'd like to have. It was just different. So first thing I do when I get a motorcycle, I go to Xiaba, because why not? I remember that there's this beautiful view as you drive along the river, and this is the view we're enjoying right now. I'm trying to go quite slow, so everything is clear, the picture is clear, you can relax and see the beautiful mountains of the Guizhou province. Although, unfortunately, we're not going to see that many on this particular trip, because we're still not very far from the city, and Guizhou is a karst province, so the mountains get quite big, and you've got that beautiful grayish-white limestone on most of them. You can't see it here, like maybe in some places you will, but I think that's something I'd like to do on one of my next trips. Go a little bit further away from the city so we can have nicer views and you can see some really amazing things and how beautiful Guizhou really is. I think that's the main reason why I started this channel. It's not to show, hey guys, oh, I've got a bike and I'm riding to some cool places and look at my bike, because I'm not really showing my bike, am I? But the main reason is that I just want to share the joy of exploring Guizhou and of finding all those new amazing places, of discovering new routes, of discovering new landscapes. Now, I personally love that, and I hope you can enjoy that too as you watch these videos and as you can see all those amazing things that I'm seeing with my own eyes. I'm trying to remember all the things that I said while I was actually recording this video, but nothing comes to mind because it's been over a week. I think almost 2 weeks since I did this trip, and I did other trips since then, which obviously I'm going to post to on the channel, so I think that's gonna be fun. But yeah, I think I mentioned something about how good the weather is this year, because Guizhou is the rain capital of entire China. Like, we get so much rain all the time, all 4 seasons. And this year, surprisingly, I know it's like this in the whole world this year, the drought and the climate change, and China's struggling with a massive heat wave at the moment. But good things is that this is an ideal weather for riding your bike and for enjoying those beautiful Guizhou skies, which I rarely get to see. And I've been here over 5 years, and this is the first summer that actually has such a good weather, so I had to mention that. Now let's see where we're going. Okay, we're going to be in Guding village in a few minutes. Oh, you can see the massive pillars in the distance. This is the motorway that can take you to Xiaba and to all the cool places if you don't want to take the slow road, which I'm taking right now. So this is also an option. Unfortunately, even when we're in China's most rural province, this is always the part of the landscape. This is the part of the landscape that I don't like, but it's there. The motorways make it so much easier to travel when you're in a rush, but making the mountains look ugly if you're just trying to make a video or just take a ride and enjoy the views. I guess there's not much we can do about it. But you have to say, on the other hand, those highways do look pretty cool, because a lot of them were built on such a high altitude. Then I don't really know how they pulled it off, but yeah, here they are. Able to see the Guding village in the distance on the left. This is how pretty much every Guizhou village looks like. It's something that I see every day, but I think it might be something very new to you. And what is worth paying attention to is that in these videos, we're going to see quite a few old houses. I'm not sure if it's going to be in this part or in the next part. I know I said at the beginning of the video that it's the last part of the Xiaba series, but I think there's more, and I think I want to record more and comment more, mainly because I want you to see the old architecture, the old traditional Guizhou architecture, because those brick or concrete, I'm quite sure what it is, buildings that you're seeing on both sides of the road in most towns and villages. They're not too old, they look old, but not because they're old, they're just not, well, conserved in a proper way, I suppose. So I want to show you some real wooden houses, and yeah, I think some of them are going to be in this video. So keep your eyes peeled, and I will try to make sure you notice them. I've just checked for the purpose of this recording, and Guding village is actually located in Guiyang in Guding district. So it's hard for me to believe, but we're still actually in the Guiyang city. If we turned left right here, we would have gone to the town center or village center of Guding, but we're not doing this, not this time. We're going straight directly to Xiaba. You probably can't read what all those signs say, but yeah, that's why we're turning right. And on our right hand side you can see all those vendors with, what's that, like that's swimming gear, so there must be somewhere to swim in the vicinity. I think that must be the Naming River, because I don't recall any lakes in this area. So yeah, maybe I should check it out next time. Sometimes I'm tilting the camera towards the left side or the right side, and I'm doing this so that you can see how Guizhou looks, how the houses look, how people look, how life here looks in general. Did you see the city bus on the right that we've just passed? Well, yeah, that proves that we're still in the city. So what I said earlier is not right. You can actually get here using public transport, but it's just me who never found a way. But fair enough, I found my way to so many places in Guizhou that nobody ever found out to be, interesting or touristy in any way. So yeah, I think I got it sorted, and I don't feel bad for not having found Xiaba much earlier. As someone who has traveled quite a lot around China, and I've been to many places and I've seen so many amazing things, but every time I take a ride or I drive through Guizhou, it's just a completely different feeling, and you cannot get this kind of landscape. Like, look at this. You can't get it anywhere else in China. It's just remarkable and so unique that there's nothing that can ever compare to what I'm seeing on one of my trips, and to what fortunately you can see now too. At that green, this is just typical Guizhou green. You can't find it anywhere else. It's just it cannot be faked. It cannot be seen anywhere else. You can go to Yunnan, you can go to Guangxi, and both those places, they're cool, but it's nothing like Guizhou. Now take a look at this ugly big thing on the hill. Probably a tourist attraction that went wrong. It's unfortunately they're everywhere. They're building things without thinking it through, and then they either stay in a half-built state, or they go bankrupt after a couple of months and you never hear about them again. But maybe they're gonna be interesting in a couple of years when nature reclaims what's hers, and I think it'll be an interesting sight. So we're passing the river, we're passing the Naming River again. You can see it on the right, and also here I'm zooming in because there are some genuinely old Guizhou houses. Not this house. Like in the background, can you see them? They look a little bit like Tudor houses in England, kind of. I know it's not the same thing, but they just gave me that impression when I first saw them. Obviously, every year you're going to find fewer and fewer houses like this, and that's normal. The province is developing. What you're going to find instead is a lot of those fake old houses. They're everywhere, and yeah, just type in Guizhou minority culture or something like that in Google, and you'll get what I mean. This is not something I'd like to show in these videos. So if you want to see it, you'll have to look for it yourself. I'm not going to go to any touristy places. All of this has been filmed and done and shown millions of times to promote the province. So there's just nothing for me to say, and I'm not a big fan. I'm just going to stick to what's original and to what's genuine. I think there's going to be another old house somewhere here on the left, perhaps. Let's keep our eyes peeled. The camera should follow it. So when you see the camera moving, oh, there it is. Yeah, that's a nice one. Quite old. It doesn't look like it's still got people living in it, but a lot of them do. Mind that we're only 20 miles now away from the city, but if you go to really deep mountains all the way out there, you're gonna find villages that have many more houses like this, and they've got farmers and locals living in there, mostly minorities. So yeah, that's something I would like to show in one of the episodes too. I just have to think of an ideal place to present it in a nice way, and yeah, find time, find resources, and just do it. Reach Xiaba in the next minute or two, and this is where the video ends because I decided to cut it into 2 parts. So in the next episode I'm going to take us for a ride through the town itself and then beyond Xiaba. This was the name of the trailer video that I made for the entire channel. So I also want to include those Beyond Xiaba videos in the project, even though we're already in Xiaba. We've arrived. I think we've just passed school or government or whatever it was, and we're getting closer to the town center. But you have to say that the landscapes are getting better and better, and it's getting better as we go and as we get closer to really deep mountains. It's beautiful. It's really amazing, and I'm glad we've got that wonderful weather. It just helps so much while having a ride. I suppose it's time for us to part ways in this installment of the Xiaba journey. So thank you so much for watching and following me as I go. And hopefully see you soon in the next episode. Cheers!